Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Bradley.
American ready.
I'm Kimmie Farrington.
And I'm Dave Bales. Welcome to Not the Situation Room.
Wait, who are you again?
Yeah, I know. I took a
Where
week
were
off.
you? What were
I
you
took a
doing,
week
man?
off. I have decided that sometimes one of us needs to take a week off to give four other people the opportunity to be on the show.
Oh, well, that's awfully generous of you, Dave. I didn't
I'm a
realize you had
giver.
such a big heart, man.
I'm a
Feel-
giver.
I don't feel
You
like
are a
that's what
giver.
really happened. I really don't, but I'm just gonna go with it because it's
We're
the
gonna go with
first
that.
one.
That's his story, and he's sticking to it.
Thank you very
And
much.
speaking of stories, what's in the news this week, you guys?
I am gonna read news, so let's do that. But I am surprised that Kimmie was able to say that's my story. I'm sticking to it, and she didn't sing it. I'm blown away.
I'm just happy no one sang it.
I don't actually know if there's a tune that goes with that phrase. I've just had it in my
I
vocabulary
would
for
I'm
so
not
never
many
doing
admit
it.
years.
that live. Never admit that live again.
I'm not doing it.
All right, so we do have some crazy stories though. So let's
Yes,
talk
we
about the
do.
first one, which is Trivy and Axios. Two different incidents, but both supply chain compromises, rather
Goodness, supply
large
chain
ones at
compromise.
that. So we actually have two, like I said, two stories about this, and they both took place relatively close together. So it's easy to mix them up, but they are not the same. The first
Of
one,
course.
Trivy. First, what is it? So Trivy is a widely used open source vulnerability scanner owned by Aqua Security. The compromise of Trivy took place on March 19th this year and was orchestrated by a group that calls themselves Team PCP. They used tag poisoning on GitHub, where they hijacked existing version tags, like at version 0.34.0, to point to malicious code. And since many developers don't pin their actions to specific commit hash, their pipelines automatically pulled in the poison code. The goal was to scrape cloud keys, GitHub tokens, and other types of credentials and whatnot from CI/CD runners. So long story short, for the time period that their nasty code was running, they sucked up a whole lot of credentials, and that one's going to be another gift that keeps on giving.
Is this
I
the
saw a
largest breach of
Medium
all time?
article. Oh, sorry. Was this the biggest breach of all time?
Yeah.
Was it? It was pretty big. I saw a Medium article. I just wanted to point out that the pinning of the hash action isn't always a cover. In this case, the article pointed out that that the developer who swapped the code, all they did was take the hash out and put in another one that pointed to the new code, right? So if you didn't, even if you pinned your hash, they replaced it for you.
Why
So
was
you,
it
unless you were noticing that that was no longer the same pinned hash that you had before, you wouldn't notice, right? Even so, in this case, even though that is like normally the fail safe pin your hash, this is the version you need, blah blah blah. In this case, that wouldn't have helped you. He just put unless you really knew that that was the right hash and you did some, hash checker every time you looked at it. I don't know, but
why was it so
so
why was
side
it
note.
why was it so easy? I mean, this seems I mean, it's catastrophic to be honest, but why was it so easy to do?
It's all about
Well,
the automation. They want
yeah.
to automate everything as fast as possible. Do your updates quick as possible. And in security, that's what we always say:
Yeah,
update,
yeah, for
update,
sure.
update. Unfortunately, when there's a supply chain attack, that's what they're hoping for.
Yeah.
One
Now
of
this was only exposed for like 3 hours, or was that the Axios compromise?
No, no, this is the
I get
trivia
them
one. It
confused.
was it was caught pretty quick if I remember correctly, but it didn't matter.
Yeah,
The damage was done.
the
Didn't this only
damage was
take
done
like
because
39 seconds to do?
I think so. It was
yeah,
fast.
It was
Yeah,
super
yeah,
because
fast.
all they did was, like Kimmie was kind of saying with the hashes, they didn't change the code or what you'd be checking. They changed the dependency. So
right.
then you
Yeah.
fetched the bad stuff, brought it back in.
And
Well, that was nice.
you might not have a clue that you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. They didn't, and then that I'm glad that they caught it, right? But it was out there
If
doing
I
all your
remember
secret scanning and grabbing all your activity, and now they have, oh, look, I not only know what your activity is, but I can match it to actual developers for different projects, and now I can go and log into your project, and that brings us to the next project, right?
well before
Coming to
that,
a
I think
GitHub near you.
if I remember correctly, and I should have double checked this. The only reason they caught it is because the poison code threw some errors.
Yeah, I think you're right. We did talk about that Tuesday morning or something.
I mean, it still did its job, and they were able to steal the heck out of some credentials. But like I said, the only reason it got detected, if I remember correctly, is it threw some errors.
It did. It did.
Was not
Can
normal code.
anybody explain to me what the legitimate purpose of updating these libraries so often is?
You know,
Well,
I think the mantra that everybody, get your patches out as quickly as possible is kind of a bad way to go about things. One of my favorite quotes is slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You do
right.
things a little bit slower, it works a little bit smoother, which then in turn makes everything faster.
But isn't that a double-edged sword since our other
Yeah.
mantra is patch your shit?
Yeah,
That's
I like-
it
exactly
is.
where I was going, Nick. Thank you very much. Yes.
It really
I like
is.
N minus one, but letting other people
Yes.
figure
N
out the
minus one.
problems.
Exactly. That's the compromise. The N minus one, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to the second one because this one came in so fast that it was easy to think it was part of the first compromise.
It's
So
easy to think that it was also an April Fool's joke.
yes, it was, but it wasn't.
No, it is not.
It felt like a joke, a really bad one. So the second one is Axios, and again, like I can start it off with the last one is what is it? Well, Axios is a massive JavaScript HTTP client library with over 100 million weekly downloads on the NPM registry. And I'm hoping you can already smell what I'm cooking.
Yep.
So the Axios attack took place on March 31st this year and has been attributed to North Korean Nexus actor Unk1069. You know I had to say it that way.
Yeah.
Or Sapphire Sleet. I don't know which one of those sounds cooler. This was an NPM registry compromise where a maintainer's account was hijacked to release malicious code, versions 1.14.1 and version 0.30.4. It used a phantom dependency called plain crypto.js to drop a remote access Trojan on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux systems. So the full hat trick. And the victim maintainer has since come out then and said that they were socially engineered. That's kind of how this all happened.
Okay, this was the dependency one, not the other one.
Yeah, I guess.
Sorry, I got mixed up between the Trivy, Axios, North Korea, Rat. I thought we were talking about Pokemon for a minute.
No, but we do have a similar story, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right. I was going to say, wait, doesn't that appear in today's list?
It does.
That's a reference to later. But in fact, well, I could lead into the Claude code source code here because Axios turned around and wrote an article, sort of deflecting the attention from themselves on this particular oops that happened, and it's not their fault, really, right? These things happen. Apparently, the developer said that he trusted someone who wanted to contribute to his source code, and because it is in fact open source code, he shared the repository and apparently his credentials, or at least access to his repository, in such a manner that the man then had, the same power as the same credentials, right? So
Right.
yeah, that's how that one was able to happen. But then, like I said, Claude code, the source code leak came around.
Oh yeah, these didn't get to sit in the spotlight for very long because
No.
something else came along and stole it. But the
This
thing
one
is,
was,
as I'm saying though, these keep coming up because we keep seeing other breaches now that have occurred because of these. But
Yeah.
please
now
continue.
was this one a credential stolen and then hacked into? I'm not really sure if that was part of that, but it was definitely identified as during JavaScript mapping when people were trying to identify whether or not they had been compromised by the Axios part, right? Suddenly they discovered somebody found a 59.8 meg JavaScript source map file that was the entire source code of Claude.
Oh,
The Claude code, yes, in the whole thing, not just parts of the repository, not distilled question marks of how do we do things and different stuff. No, it was the actual. You could rebuild Claude from this. Now, is this really
Have
damaging?
everything. Have it all.
So, you know, the most amazing thing to me is 59.8 megabytes. I've had
Right.
hard
Well,
drives
let's
that
tell the
size.
story. Let's tell the story.
512,000 lines of TypeScript across over 2,000 files, providing a full view of the tool's agentic orchestration layer, tool definitions, and memory architecture. While no model weights or user data were compromised, the leak revealed unreleased features, such as an autonomous background mode called Kairos, I spelled Kairos, and an April Fool's Buddy pet system, as well as internal anti-distillation measures, which I'll get to in a second, designed to thwart competitors. The incident coincided with the unrelated Axios supply chain attack, leading to a perfect storm where malicious actors quickly created Trojanized of the leak code to distribute malware like Vidar and Ghost Socks to unsuspecting developers. So there's the whole, let's jump on it and weaponize it as quickly as possible. But also, again, they didn't expect to open source themselves. That was unintentional. And then as soon as they identified it, they quickly turned around and righted the problem, of course. But, I really liked the JavaScript repository Axios's take on the bottom line here. I'm going to quote directly from their article. They said the leak won't sink Anthropic, but it gives every competitor a free engineering education on how to build a production-grade AI coding agent and what tools to focus on. They outlined in their path forward some very interesting features, and I failed to identify them at the moment, but it was really a cool peek into what Claude's up to and what Anthropic's up to.
There was a ton of details and secrets and
Yeah.
upcoming product development, just all kinds of stuff in there. Even some weird secret squirrel stuff that people like, I don't even know what this is, but I am sure as heck gonna unscrew it and figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Things
not
like
Pokemon, but they have Tamagotchi coming.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Something like
right.
that.
Right. The crazy part about this one was within the day of this happening, because I saw it at first. I first saw it on X. I didn't even see any articles written yet. I first saw it getting talked
Right.
about on X, and within a couple hours, someone had already built out the steps from start to finish. That all you have to do is follow these steps and build your own at-home LLM to run Claude.
Of course they did.
The
Of
whole
course they
thing.
did.
And what Dave was making fun of earlier, I just want to remind everybody that even Jurassic Park operated their automation with 2 million lines of code.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and the little girl likes to be identified as a hacker because remember she was able to lock the door.
She knows Unix.
Oh, right.
I know Unix. I'm a hacker.
I know Unix.
Right.
Took y'all a second to get my joke, but I'm
It
glad
did. It did. I was
glad we got there.
gears were ticking for a little bit.
Yeah. But still, I mean, 54 megabytes worth of code, and you've got Claude just on your desktop.
So my
Yeah, no
question
kidding.
about that is though is don't you still have to have the horsepower to be able to run it?
I would think that at 54 megabytes, seriously, I keep saying it, but 54 megabytes worth of code wouldn't take that much horsepower to run. I've got enough in my GPU to run that.
True. Well,
You got to remember that's the processing the code, not processing the data to
Right.
actually result in an output.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of what I was getting at, right? So I mean, you stole the truck, but do you have the fuel to run it?
Right. Did you get the keys? Can't unlock the doors now.
And what's crazy about this is I don't know if it was an April Fool's joke, but somebody tried to pass it off as an April Fool's joke. And then some other bad actors started using the Git or the repository or whatever to push their own malicious code. Like it's almost like
did
some
they
sort of
say
like
that it was
supply
an April
chain
Fool's?
kill chain go down.
Oh, right. I was gonna say, did they think that it was an April Fool's joke because it was fun? and it's April and it's Easter. I don't know.
I mean, it's possible, but the thing is, though, again, this is going to be another one of those gifts to keep on giving, right? Because once the code was oops released, it was mirrored hundreds and hundreds of times instantly. So even if you went and pulled it down, you're not going to get it all down. It's already been copied and mirrored. And then the part two to that, like I think we hinted at already, is how many bad actors might stick this back up there, but it's full of malicious code at that point.
I'll be honest.
Yeah. Well, they're just going to go use it to develop all of their malware from going forward, right? I mean, we already have all these campaigns that have been documented that they're using AI to build this and that and the other email stealer and click fix generator and blah 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 blah, and then next thing you know, it's Claude. Claude's doing it all for them. They're going to write Python codes and bash shells and go infect your Linux devices and your Mac devices. Yay!
Yeah, and at this point now, though, like I said, going out and trying to find it and download it if you want to do it. Who knows if you're actually getting the clean, legit one, or if you're getting some new upgraded, safe, cracked software to use at home.
Well, if you have the hash.
What? What do we always say?
You know how many users are going to want to do this?
Get it from the approved repository.
I do.
Get it from the right place. Oh wait, with the right hash. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No, I didn't get to finish my statement, Dave. I was going to say, how many people are going to want to try and do this but don't have the skill to do it properly?
You're looking at one
because
I don't have the skill to do it.
You're all just saying, just check the hash, and I have some people go, Is that like smothered, covered, chunked, and topped? I mean, we go to Waffle House for some hash browns? I don't know what that means.
I feel like that's the whole theme with AI, though. AI can get you somewhere fast, except it won't tell you the warnings. As in Doctor Strange, maybe they should put the warnings in the front of the book.
No.
Well, let's get to the last story because we're getting long-winded.
Right,
here.
we're going way off topic here.
We are. So a hacker was charged with stealing $53 million from a uranium crypto exchange. $53 million. Jonathan Spalletta, known online as CT Hulhon, is facing...
I swear that's Cthulhu. Come on, like Cthulhu. Come on. It has to be Cthulhu.
Well, he's facing computer fraud and money laundering charges after allegedly hacking the Uranium Finance decentralized exchange twice in April of 2021. Yes, I know it's old, but this is still a really good story.
Oh, the first part isn't really the best part. It's the ending that's the best part.
We're gonna skip a little bit here in just a second, but he stole $53.3 million, forcing it to shut down permanently. The exchange had to shut down permanently. His first attack on April 8th exploited a smart contract vulnerability in the amount with bonus variable that let him drain $1.4 million through zero token withdrawals. That's why I didn't skip that. But let's get down to what he did. Spalletta laundered everything through... I'm sorry. This is so funny. He laundered everything through Tornado Cash Mixer and went on quite the shopping spree, dropping $500,000.
Wait, $500,000? $500,000?
Yeah.
$500,000 on a Magic the Gathering card.
Man.
But come on, it was only one of four.
It's the Black Lotus card, though.
It's the Black Lotus Magic card.
Ever.
There's only four in existence in the world.
Yes, he also spent $1.5 million on sealed alpha booster packs. This guy's got a serious gaming problem. I thought I was addicted to games. No. He also, in addition to that, spent $750,000 for a complete first edition Pokemon base set and over $600,000 for an ancient Roman coin commemorating Julius Caesar's assassination.
One of these is not like the others.
Right?
Yeah.
The first one's I'm all about. Then we get to this coin. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I knew we
weren't going to get through the story without a Pokemon part. Pokemon had to be a part of it.
It was. He's had all of his collectibles seized, and they recovered about $31 million from his wallets. But now he's looking at 10 years for fraud and 20 years for money laundering. So way to go, Cthulhu.
So which one do you think bothered him? So which one do you think bothers him the worst? The money being lost, the getting caught, or having his Magic the Gathering card taken away?
That Magic
First
the
edition
Gathering
Pokemon set. Come on, like.
right?
Yeah. I mean, probably
I no
getting
longer
caught,
have a reason to live.
but probably getting caught. But that Magic the Gathering 1 of 4 card, that probably stung a little bit.
Like
Oh,
seriously, how old is this hacker?
I
it
think they
said in the beginning, didn't it?
I'm
no, it
looking.
didn't.
I'm trying to figure. I'm like Jonathan Spalletta.
I think
Jessica,
in the
hold on.
original article that I saw, he's
How
like
old are you?
35.
Oh my
That's like
goodness.
the memo of don't spend the money when draw attention to yourself when you get it. Like
He
I would
missed
have thought
Robert De
they'd know
Niro's
better by
speech.
now, but maybe not.
And of course,
Wow. Okay.
it's a Maryland man. That just makes it even funnier. Maryland man.
Hey, could have been
Maryland
Florida
man.
man.
I was glad it wasn't
Or
Florida man.
Texas man. Anyway.
I'm
Anyway,
looking, I'm
so
looking,
yeah.
I'm looking. I don't see it. I don't see an
I
age.
can't find it now either. Jonathan is if you're listening or watching out there, can you let us know what your age is?
Yeah, leave us
I'm
a
a little
comment.
curious. I mean, because they would have had to have had value in the Pokemon in the first place, right? And now, admittedly, Pokemon has made a comeback or a resurgence
Yes.
Yeah.
for several generations, right? Like it's had an appeal to different people at different times, and they've managed to make that work for them. That's great, Eric. But
hold my stuff.
Eric, you feel targeted yet?
I'm
I
loving
mean,
it.
but at the same time, you have to. Collections only work if you're willing to find the market to sell it to. If there is a market to sell it to, so is this guy the market then? Because he's willing to pay $500,000 for one
You know,
card. I mean, that's insane.
you can't argue that logic.
No, you really can't. And yeah, I don't know. But it's just one of
But
those
talk
situations
about
where I feel
feeling like
like
the biggest whale in the room. I mean,
you got the money and you said, once I get rich, I'm not going to let anybody know. But
Yeah.
there may be signs.
I mean, it's just like in Breaking Bad where the guy starts selling pills and then he shows up with the giant yellow H3 and gets robbed.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't imagine why they would
Why would
target
that
me.
happen?
All right, everybody. Well, I think that is enough news shenanigans for the day. How about the rest of you?
I think
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
good.
yeah.
All right, thanks everybody. I appreciate all of your time. So those of you watching, please like, share, follow, share with your friends, share with your non-friends. Leave us a comment and
We will see you next time.